We are here, Creative Collection NYC. What's
Yeah,
goody?
yeah.
Chilling,
What's going on?
chilling, man. Just we here, man. Just bringing the right vibe, bringing the right energy.
Yeah, man, we ain't here. You know the vibes.
Yo, Dzyn, man, long time, man.
Yeah, man. I know. How you feeling, bro?
Yo, man, I don't want to start the conversation too dark, but life is good, man. Life for the most part, life is good, man.
Hope so, man. You sound like you got some things to talk about.
I'm employed. I'm healthy for the most part. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to make a difference one day at a time.
Right. That's good, man. So we gonna get into some details too. So you could speak on things you feeling, because at the end of the day, this is about what could make it better. So we coming up with solutions. So if you got something you need solutions to, you could at least put it in the air. That way we can learn from it and probably come up with a solution.
Let him introduce himself first. Introduce yourself. We got Jackpot here.
Ching, man. It's Mr. Jackpot in the building, man. King of Hillside. Represent Queens, you know what I'm saying? Artist, engineer, videographer, photographer. I wear many hats depending on the many situations that we do, man. And I'm here. Shout out to Collective, Dzyn, Royalty, and Squeaky, man. I appreciate y'all for having me. Let's talk about it.
No doubt.
Salute.
Facts, for real. We appreciate you coming up here, man. We appreciate you coming up for sure, because we got a good history that we need to, you know what I'm saying, break down and talk about. And people need to hear it, and we need to hear it ourselves.
Facts.
Man, where do I start? I think my man Ran Love met you first. He contacted me and was like, yo, I got a studio now, son. I mean, young boy doing his thing, you know what I'm saying? And we were looking for a consistent studio spot. And I don't know how he came across you.
MySpace.
MySpace?
Like, I was just sharing everything on MySpace.
When he brought it to me, I came down there. You ain't live too far, big Queen shit. And, it's kind of been history from then. Like, my mixtape, Due to Perfection, you recorded that. You know what I'm saying? That was my first official project. I've known you at least 12, 13 years right now. Me and you, whatever, it kind of built other lifelong friendships through the woven fabric, because at the time, like, I was kind of fake hurting, but I was trying to get this mixtape done. And I was telling and then me and you, I kind of came to you and I was like, yo, D, I don't really got it, but I'm gonna get, like, how much would you give me to just do the whole tape? And you gave me a number. And I'm like, all right, boom, we'll work on it. And I said it to a friend of mine, like, and me and him weren't even friends for very long at that point in time, but he always expressed an interest in my music. So one specific day, I kind of said it to him, like, yo, yeah, I got this young boy, you know what I'm saying? He ready to record my whole mixtape for whatever number it was. And my homeboy, at the time, he was just an associate. And at that moment, he became a friend, because he's like, yo, I support your music. If that's what young boy said he gonna do it for you for, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got you. And he came. A couple weeks later, he counted out the bread to me. I came and I handed it to you, and Due to Perfection was born.
Wow. I ain't even know that. But honestly, one thing I could say, like, if it's notes being taken off the back, is just like your grind, because you was adamant about getting that project done in a certain amount of sessions. And when I tell you, coming from an engineer's perspective, the way you did it is not usually done. Like, people don't usually actually finish their project in a certain amount of sessions that they align. Like, it's usually just a whole bunch of sessions, and then they pick their favorite songs real quick, and it's not even a window of time. It's more so just all right, we just flowing with it. But the way you did it was you set yourself a time stamp, and you set yourself like, all right, I'm gonna create this project at this time, and I'm gonna do that. So that took like a time period of dedication. Excuse me. So yeah, gotta shout you out for that, because the work ethic in that time period was crunch time for you for some reason. I may have not known your personal issues or personal things you had going on, but I knew that it was crunch time for you, and that's what it sounded like and looked like. So I moved like it as well.
Yeah, I was just hunger, man, and I felt like even now, because I put down music for a while and picked it back up recently, and it's like at that time I felt like how I feel now. I didn't have enough out there. You know what I'm saying? And it was like the time that I put down took away from me putting more music out there. So right now, although I could say said, I've been recording for 20 years. Like, you could attest to that because I have tracks lost on your, you know what I mean, on your hard drive. Like, but people don't know that, and I don't have enough material in the world as if like platforms, stuff like that, for people to see that I've been doing it for so long. So it's like, that's why lately you've been seeing me like adamant about dropping the rap traps and adamant about doing the joints and start doing the reels and everything, because it's like, you know, like you said, my work ethic, the way I look at things is different, and I'll be all over the place, so I'll be trying to zone in and focus during that particular time period. To be honest with you, you played a very pivotal part in my time period being as successful as it was because of your work ethic. I was looking for somebody who was more consistent, you know what I'm saying, in laying down the records, was available, was affordable, and gave me good sound. Like, and when I met you, it was like, oh, like, he's on it, he got his own situation, I ain't gotta wait, I ain't got more, and he's willing to do it. So it made my job easy because you was ready to work. So shout out to your work ethic, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, the project was born, like, and it was born in 2010. Wow.
Yeah,
Big
I
up
appreciate that.
to Dzyn. Big up, big up, big up, big up. We're gonna put some applause right here. You deserve a big round of applause right there.
Facts.
Because that mixtape is so fire. Track after track after track, I gotta say, last night I was happy listening to the project do the
That was
perfect.
my project last night.
Yeah, I mean, come on, listen, we gotta get right. We're not going to listen. We're not going to have you come up here without, you know what I'm saying, refreshing what's going on, getting right.
You know, we got to get right. You feel me?
I haven't done many podcast interviews or, you know, platform conversations as the one we're having now. From an artist perspective, I haven't been in many seats, but I have been in a few different situations where podcasts are being held, and I've experienced hosts that were prepared, and I've experienced hosts that were unprepared with the people that they were interviewing or having a conversation with. So it's just refreshing to know that y'all, you know what I'm saying, for her to say like, yo, track after track, like, yo, last night was a good listen, like, oh, it's good to hear it, you know?
I mean, we gotta make sure that we, you know, living up to what we're producing here. You know what I'm saying? It's called What Could Make It Better. We gotta hear what you're saying to understand what your solutions sound like, to understand what our solutions sound like with it, to sound like what we could put together to produce what can make it better. It's not it's interesting and creative, but we gotta make sure we lay down some type of commitment, you know? So I gotta ask you something before we get into the questions. I gotta ask you like a little pre-sequel question. You are the first artist, and probably one of the only, as a matter of fact, that recorded music with me with no profanity. Speak about that.
When I met you, like I said, I was probably like between 19 and 21, because I dropped in 2010. I think I was like 20 at that time. So I have been rhyming for years. Like, I've been rhyming since I was like 13. Like, I got old CDs with old songs and stuff on it. But it was about when I was around 17 before I met you that I would just, I don't know. It wasn't any particular influence or anything. One day I just sat to myself and I thought about how I would approach music and how you know, because I started doing music and started getting on stage around 17, 18, and my people just showed me mad love. Like, yo, you really vibing. So to myself, what would separate me from the rest of the world? I felt like I got the bar, but what would separate me? And I'm like, yo, I don't got to curse in me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't really have to curse to get my point across. Like, this is me. This is 17-year-old me sitting in my room thinking to myself, I don't got to curse to get my point across. Like, and I deliberately and consciously made it a point to not curse. So as I was doing my rhymes from that point in time, I used to, like, I would write like, or, you know, like, as I was writing the rhyme, but then I would go back and be like, what can I use to go in place of that? Could I say fella? Could I say brother? Could I say person? Like, someone? Like, you know what I'm saying? There's many 2-syllable words that could go into place of it. And it kind of just became second nature. Like, now I just write, and cursing is not like, I'm not worrying about cursing no more because it's not even a factor. Like when I'm writing lyrics, like obviously in my conversation, I curse up a storm. Like, but when it comes to writing music and laying down music, like, and it doesn't matter what record I'm on, who I'm on the record with, they could curse up a storm on their verse, but my verse is just always like clean. And you know what? To end it off, I also wanted to be able to be played anywhere. I didn't want to have somebody tell me, let me get the clean version, let me get the other version. That was one of my selling points when I started doing the music. I was like, they was like, yo, this is good, right? Every song is clean. You don't have to edit nothing. Just put it on. You ain't got to edit it.
That's true.
I like that. I feel like what I want to make sure people get from this when they listening is be different. Do something significant. Do something different. Do something that shows who you are. Do something that shows that you are influenced, so you're not being influenced. And I feel like at 17, to decide and make that choice on your own, just consciously, it just shows you just a conscious individual, and you just got a vibration on you that's just like, yo, let me just lift myself up off what I've seen already. You know what I'm saying? And that's dope, bro.
Man, I'm trying, yo. I'm even to this day, man. On that mixtape that you recorded for me, on a track I did, it was called Lady of the Hour. I said the word coochie on it. It has burnt me ever since. I feel like if that track got on the radio, they might block out coochie, and it bothered me ever since. I never got to tell you that. I never got the chance to re-record the record, but it always bothered me.
I see. Yeah, man, I know you had to make sure that you know what I'm saying, was managing yourself and recording things a certain way and everything like that. So I already understand that. But you know, it's gonna be times where you don't align things exactly the way you want to align it, just based on like just recording in time, and you might make a song and then you gotta play it tomorrow or something, and you know how it goes sometimes.
Oh yeah, you know, I never like, it wasn't about you. It was just about me. Like, we got the tracks done. It wasn't rushed, or you know what I mean. I got it done in the timeline that I wanted to do it. But after I'm listening to it later on, I'm listening to the whole joint, and I'm like, damn, coochie, you know, because I just always felt like it might get blocked out. But you know, here we are. Like, to this day, like I started a segment called Rap Trap Thursdays. You know, I had put down music for a while. You know, I got city jobs. I went to college. I graduated with my bachelor's, and in my senior year of college, I said to myself, like, which was arguably one of the greatest mistakes I ever made in my life, was putting music down when I was in college, assuming that I wasn't going to be able to do both of them at the same time. And I felt at that time when I was in college, I had performed in colleges. I had a DJ that worked with the Source magazine on the network. Like, I was moving, but I had no guidance. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just dropping records and going to perform them. Like, nobody ever said, yo, shoot a music video. I just thought everything was face to face. Like, you know, I'm a blow because somebody gonna see me face to face. Even when social media was coming with MySpace, and like, I didn't have like, I could genuinely say I had nobody that was fooling me. I just thought, make hot records, go to the stages in the city, perform, and somebody will see me. Like, I didn't know marketing and all of that stuff at that time. And this time, we talking about 2009 and 10 and 11. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. Like,
yeah, man. I mean, a lot of artists as artists coming up, you know, independent young artists coming up, you know, we developing ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We are our developers. We are our A&R. You know what I'm saying? We are our marketers. We are our promoters. We are even our sound. We are everything. So we gotta mold up and produce something for it to be like seen. We have to create that. We have to really get very creative about how we get seen, whether it's a label or independent label, or whether it's a crowd, or whether it's a specific crowd you want. You gotta learn how to get yourself into that crowd. Yeah, you may be performing in the city at an open mic, but you may want a certain crowd, you know what I'm saying? And that takes time. It takes years of experience to gain the knowledge to even know how to start to, you know, figure your way into them. Does anybody have anything to say about, you know, his speech here just now and what he said before I ask this question?
Yeah, I got a question. What's going on, Jackpot Royalty? Who were some of your main influences as far as music? Like, who made you want to actually pursue music growing up?
I started rhyming at 13 years old, and at that particular time, the first song that I officially wrote was to Kanye West's Slum Village Selfish. So Kanye West was a very, very, very big influence for me. Jadakiss is a very, very big influence for me. Cameron, Dipset was a factor. To be honest with you, it was a Dipset member that really so a friend of mine, God rest his soul, an old friend of mine, he passed away, and we were sitting down listening to Joel Santana's first mixtape. And first album, From Me to You was the title. And we sat I think we was at my crib or his crib, and we was like, yo, we can rhyme, we can rhyme, you know what I'm saying? We can rap, but it was never about making money. You know what I'm saying? Right. We always just wanted to play music out of our own cars when we got them. Dipset was a big influence. 50 Cent is a big influence. Young Jeezy's a big influence for me. Lil Wayne's a big influence. Ross, but from my earlier days, first started rhyming, Kanye West, Jadakiss, they were two of my largest influences. Kanye West showed me that I didn't have to talk gangster and I could still get on, because I wasn't on that type of time. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw Kanye West come out with that Slum Village, and he was with the polo and the Jesus Jeep, and he ain't talking about busting guns and I'm like, yeah. So Kanye West showing me that I didn't have to get gangster on the records and I could still make millions. It was good. And Jadakiss with the metaphors and the bars and the punch.
All right, yeah, those are some solid picks. I'm not even gonna lie. I could see that. I could definitely see that for sure. Kanye and Drake, they made it cool to actually be yourself, because before they really was doing their thing, it was just straight, gangster music that was just running the scene. So they definitely was a breath of fresh air for sure.
Definitely, Jadakiss was a big influence for a lot of us coming up. So shout outs to you, because he gonna be listening. So if you hear this, Jadakiss, make sure you hit up Jackpot, because he got that good music. I'm gonna send you some links too.
Time to work, Jada. Time to work. Time to work, Kanye. Time to work.
Right. No, but I was saying before we got cut off that I like the song you made about the hip hop, addicted to hip hop. That's what really had me in the zone, because it sounded like you was doing dedicated to something else, and then you was like, I'm addicted to hip hop. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Man, I feel like when I heard it, I like when people take beats that you it assumed you was gonna either say addicted to a chick, addicted to something.
Yeah, but I thought you was gonna say. I was like, huh?
I'm just, hip hop is really a thing for me. Bars and metaphors and making you think. I really go to dictionary and make sure that the word I'm about to say is properly used. I really make sure that I'm making the right. I go on the internet sometimes, because you sometimes you know a word, but you're not sure if that's the meaning of it. I really look those up. I'm that
right.
type.
That's dope.
That's how the birth of. That's how. So after I took the break, one of my greatest mistakes is when I picked up back when Instagram and I started doing Rap Trap Thursdays. Now I know y'all remember when Monica's So Gone challenge came, right?
Yeah.
So back when that was 5-6 years ago, I was itching to get back in the studio, but my money wasn't right at the time. I was like, how can I get back into music and not have to be spending billions right now just to do it, right? And the Monica So Gone challenge just popped up, and I saw people doing it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get on one of these. So I threw the song on, played the video, threw the instrumental on, and I rhymed the verse, and I got overwhelming response on it. Yo, where you been at? Yo, you still fire? Why there's no new music? That was 5 or 6 years ago. From then, I was like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna take it serious. And now to this day, I've been doing Rap Chat Thursdays every Thursday for the most part. I've taken a couple breaks because of life situations. And, sometimes I have gotten lazy. but I always try to drop verses to pick back up whatever Thursday I missed, and I'm 200 verses in. And today's Wednesday. Tomorrow I'm gonna give y'all another one.
Yes. Yo, that is so much dedication. That is so dope. Like, I'm so happy to see you still doing it. I was like, Dzyn, this I've been rapping for like 15 years. Like, yo, I remember being in the studio with you. I was just on the other side with Dzyn's father, Big Dzyn. But I definitely remember you, and it's just good to see that you are an example of an independent artist. You're doing your thing. You laying low. You're not looking for the fame or the money. You spreading good messages, positive messages. You showing that it is cool to be you. It is cool to be positive. You're talking about God. You're talking about good things. People got the wrong messages, our generation specifically, because I guess, like, you know, how the way they project it to us now, it's like gotten worse over the years. To me, it got worse. Like, okay, back in the day, from the 80s, yeah, they was all do the Humpty Hump, and then 90s was gangster rap, and then, you know, but it was a mixture, and it wasn't so bad. It was like, all right, it's cool. But now when you bring it to the millennium, the 2000s, it's like, oh, it's all about death and being a slore and twerking and being a boss chick, and you know what I'm saying? I don't need no nigga. How did it get from the sweet feel good vibes to this? Like, how did it get to this? Like, I think that's one of the questions that Dzyn has for you. So I'm gonna let him kick off with those questions.
I'm old. I don't know everybody's age. I was born in '88. Like, I genuinely watched the birth. I watched Jadakiss. I watched the birth of Cameron and them. When Cameron and Dipset came out in 01, 02, I was like 13. And when Cameron came out with the Poopa Scoopa, everybody was like, what the? And it all switched. We saw the birth of Soulja Boy. Like, we watched Soulja Boy come up, like, and turn the industry into a dance scene. Like, it's just, ever so often, somebody just breathed this breath of fresh air into it, and we embraced it. Then T-Pain came with the auto-tune, even though he's not like the originator of it, but he brought it to the forefront in hip-hop, and then the auto-tune era began. Like, you know, it's like everybody just do something different, and whenever people start frowning upon it, they continue to do it and ruffle feathers, and sooner or later people catch wave and it becomes a thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And history is always due to repeat itself, because then we see the birth. We saw a whole bunch of melodic stuff, people singing on these records now, and it started with Ja Rule in them. Remember, 50 Cent used to clown Ja for singing on records, and then Ja fell off the scene. 50 started harmonizing. He's a millionaire, like, you know what I'm saying? And then we just started seeing people getting more comfortable with singing. Rest in peace to PNB Rock. That boy wasn't an R&B artist, but he sung on the record. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, people just, it transitions. But then here we go, right? Because they say history is due to repeat itself. And now we got the birth of the lyrical again. You get the J. Cole's peeking back. You got the Kendricks. I know they got years under them, but then you get the Jack Harlows, the Griseldas of the world, like, bringing it back to the essence. Like, we got a rap out here. Like, what y'all talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, it's how we got here, yo. It never stopped. Like, it was always moving from place to place. You know, we just happen to be bringing it back full circle. It just got more social media attached to it. Like,
yeah, because, you know, I like that you know, it still exists, the lyrical part, the talent part. Like, it's like you gotta stick out like a sore thumb and do something different, like you said. But it seems like they rather promote more negative music, more of the drill and more of the, you know what I'm saying, the destruction part, the destruction frequencies. They like to promote that more than the positives